Today I want to cover the 5 best AI website builders to get you a website up today. Tech advancements over the years have made making complex websites easier and easier, but the best AI website builders take this to a whole nother level. After weeks of testing, these are what I consider to be the 5 best AI website builders. Now, crucially, an AI website builder is a lot different than a website builder that just has nice templates and easy to use settings. Those help you make a website, but an AI website builder does it for you. The best AI website builders have 6 key features. 1, fast setup. Some AI website builders can make a whole site in just a few minutes, whereas others need a bit more input from you, but they all speed up the process a lot. 2, high quality design. Your website has to look good. It's not optional. 3, content generation. Some AI website builders can make entire paragraphs for you, edit your copy, even edit images. The best AI website builders go beyond just design layouts and actually help you get the content up on your site too. 4, customization. You need to be able to tweak your website the way that you like it, that represents your brand. And that means everything from colors and fonts to adding advanced features like e-commerce and checkout. 5, value for price. The best AI website builders save you money and time, which is also money. And lastly, scalability. The top AI website builders future-proof your growth by allowing you to start small and then add advanced features later on as you grow. So for this video, I personally tested over 21 of the top AI website builders out there. Without further ado, these are the 5 best AI website builders: Squarespace, Wix, Shopify, GoDaddy, and Replit. Squarespace is really great for creatives and service providers, photographers, freelancers, and I've personally used Squarespace to manage my business website for over 5 years. Wix is a great AI website builder for pretty much everyone. They have a great, well-rounded set of tools, and their app market has really specific apps for certain people like real estate professionals to add extra functionality. Shopify has a great AI website builder for e-commerce brands. They have plans that start small for people just getting started, and of course, enterprise level plans for huge businesses. GoDaddy has a great AI website builder for small businesses and medium businesses who are just getting started online and want everything in one easy to use package. They also have lots of enterprise plans, but I feel like they're best for those just getting started who want the fastest way to grow online possible. And Replit, honestly, is magical. It's a little bit techy, so if you have some kind of technical understanding of how websites are made and code and things like that, you don't need to write any yourself, but it helps to have an understanding of it. You can create anything with Replit, including websites and apps, just from typing into AI. It blew my mind. Okay, now let's get into each of these 5 AI website builders. First up, Squarespace. It's really a complete set of tools for growing your business. There's things like e-commerce, appointment schedule, courses and memberships, and email marketing too. So it's really like everything all in one. I've personally used Squarespace to manage my freelancer website for the last 5 years now. And I really love how easy Squarespace is. So even after you've already made your website, editing all the pages is really simple. And I'll go into that in just a moment. And I think that Squarespace has the most aesthetically pleasing templates of all the AI website builders out there. Like everything just looks so nice, it's well designed. And for that reason, I think it's best suited to creative people, perhaps freelancers, photographers, designers, but really anyone can make a website with Squarespace. They have lots of professional business templates too. Okay, so to make a website with Squarespace's AI website builder, you just go to squarespace.com, obviously, and click Get Started. And then there's a short little quiz about what is your site about. So you can type in your industry, travel, sure. Hit next, and then they ask, what do you want to do with your website? So a lot of this depends on your business, of course. Promote a physical business, sure. You can choose from their pre-designed templates or use Blueprint AI to make your website, and that's what we're gonna do today. Here, first you can give your site a title, and then it's asking about personality. So this is just more about the vibe and style of your site. I'm gonna go with friendly. So from here, this is the homepage. So you're gonna build your homepage, and it's suggesting, certain sections that you might wanna have that most people do, like a services section, a form, like a contact form, and then your footer, which you should always have. And then you can add on some other things, like maybe I wanna have an appointment section and social media. And then a neat thing you can do at this stage as well is change the design of this. So you can just go change layout here. And the nice thing about Squarespace is everything is so visual. If you're not a techie person, it's easy to see what something's gonna look like, just switch it up and be like, oh, I like this better. Okay, so once you've done that, you can hit next. And then this is the other pages of your site. Maybe I wanna add appointments. You can add a shop if you're doing e-commerce, and then pick a color scheme. And font pairing, so this is showing, what your headline is gonna look like as well as the body copy. Okay, so there's our site. That's Blueprint AI making the site. I won't go too much into editing, because this is really just about building a site with AI, and then there's so many places you can take it after that. But I'll just cover a couple of the really nice things about Squarespace. You can click anywhere. It's so clear what you're doing, like edit the header. You can hit edit design, and then again, you can see everything so visually. So maybe I want my logo in the middle, and then boom, it just does it. So it's like editing a document. It's so easy. If you want to edit text, you can just double click, type in whatever you want it to say. So it's so easy to edit things, both to just click on text and edit it, and to drag different things around, whether you want to change the spacing of something or move it. Like maybe you want this over here for some reason, I don't know why, but you could do that if you want to. And you're like, oh no, how do I get back to the center? This nice yellow line tells you when you're in the center. Boom, easy. Another nice thing here is Squarespace AI in terms of their content generation. So that's something I mentioned at the beginning is important for these builders. And of course you can type whatever you want in here or copy and paste text. But if you're ever in a text box area and you want Squarespace to help you out, you can click this AI button here. And you can say, oh, I need a great intro paragraph of 1 to 2 sentences, and come up with a little blurb for you. My favorite feature of Squarespace's website editor is the saved section. If you're editing a page, you can just kind of duplicate a section onto another page, and it makes making new pages super easy. So each kind of horizontal section across the page is called a section. You know, you can click on it and edit things about it. You can also click add section here, and this brings up Squarespace's template library. So they have lots of little sections that just look good in all kinds of templates. They have lots of things here for different things, like a testimonial section or a portfolio section, services section. So maybe we'll just add some testimonials here. So I click it and it adds it where I said to, and it also matches my brand. So it makes the background color the same as the rest of the page, the fonts and things like that. So it's really great. Maybe I want to edit this here, the image behind here. So you just go up and press this little pencil. You can hit replace, and you can of course upload your own photo or something that you've uploaded in the past to Squarespace, or you can just browse stock photos and search for them right in Squarespace. And oh, now I'm like, oh, I can't see my text. So maybe I will select all that and make it, these are the brand colors. It brings up your brand palette there. Now say that I've customized this section, I think it looks awesome, and I want to add it to the about page on my site. So instead of having to go through the whole process again where I'm clicking add section, picking this template, and having to customize all the little things I already did, I can just hover over it and then hit the heart right there. And so that saves it to my saved section. So you can reuse that elsewhere. So then let's add that to another page. So when I'm done editing this, I can hit save and then exit, and it's going to bring me back to where I was before, which is on my list of pages. And I want to go to my about page now, and then I want to add those testimonials right here. So I hit add section, and then instead of picking one of Squarespace's options here, I just go to my saved sections, and there it is. Click it, and it's in. It's so easy. Now the only thing is they're not linked together, so if you make a change on one of the sections, it's not going to automatically do that on the other pages. Squarespace is so easy to make a website totally with AI in just a few minutes, as you saw. And then what I love is it's also very easy to keep it updated, to add new pages, and just really intuitive. Everything is so visual, and it's really simple to edit things, but it's also really powerful. It's really versatile for pretty much everyone. It looks good, it's easy to use. Squarespace really works like a mix and match ecosystem. So again, you can start with the simple website. You can add things like e-commerce and email marketing, so it's really scalable too. In terms of price, depending how much you're selling, if you are using e-commerce, one of the higher tier plans would probably be a better fit for you because they have lower transaction fees, which are a lot less, and even zero on their highest plan. So it depends what you sell, if you're using e-commerce, or if you need some of the other features that the higher tier plans have. There's a reason Shopify is so popular and powers so many e-commerce sites, because it's super powerful, but it's also super easy to use. They have two kind of AI tools. They call it Shopify Magic, which is the AI website builder for the actual theme and look of your website, and then Sidekick, which is like the AI sidekick built into everything that you do on Shopify. The only drawback I find with Shopify is that your free trial is limited to 3 days, which I don't think is really enough time to fully evaluate it and get an e-commerce site up and running, but you can subscribe. They give you 3 months for $1 a month. So it's essentially a 3-month trial for $3, basically. So to build your AI website with Shopify, you just click start for free. Shopify will ask you to subscribe right away, but skip and decide later. And then it's going to ask you where you want to sell. So online store, it's pretty given, but they also have retail and point of service tools as well. So you can have everything running under Shopify for your in-person retail store, or if you're selling at events and things like that, as well as your online store. So you can just pick whatever applies to you. Next, Shopify asks you what you want to sell. So whether it's things that you make yourself, digital products, services even, drop shipping, or you can decide later if you just really want to see the site and you don't really know what you're doing yet. Then Shopify brings you to your dashboard. And this is where, of course, you'll log in and manage everything to do with your store, from products and actually fulfilling orders. So at first, it's going to default, to the first step of the setup, which is finding a product, but we're going to skip over that for now. So if you go under Sell Online, then you can get to the store design part. You're just going to describe what your store is going to be, and then it will start building off of that, similar to how Wix's chat interface was. I'm going to type in fashionable dog rainwear. These 3 themes that it's just generated, those are generated based on what you typed in. And then it's showing you some of their standard themes down here too, that you could just choose to customize instead. And if you don't like any of these 3, you can just hit generate themes again here and get some more options. So you can hit the view demo here if you want to see a little preview of what that could look like. Oh my goodness, that actually looks exactly like my cat. And I have a jacket like that for him in olive green. Anyway, so let's go try theme. We'll pick that one to go with. To customize the theme and actually get into how you do that, you just go to customize there. And now this is what people see publicly because you're not launched yet. But if you go up here at the top, you can see the different pages of your store. So let's just go to the home page for now. Double click to change the text, just like in other ones, except instead of typing it directly on there, it just brings it up on the left-hand side here. So you can just type in any other heading you want. You can make it large, extra large. So I will say the design customization options for Shopify, at least for these sort of themes, is a bit more limited than other AI website builders. And I don't mean limited in a bad way. It's just that they have things set up for speed and what actually makes people want to buy and convert on websites. So it's good for you in that it's a little bit limited and that they're trying to make you get the most sales as possible. You can't quite position things exactly where you would want them and click and drag them around like on the other builders. You can buy a custom Shopify theme coded by someone and have it look exactly the way that you want. It doesn't really matter because as long as your site is matching your brand and all that, it's optimized for actually converting. Plus you can still add new elements in here. Similar to other builders, they have this nice little library of sections and different things formatted nicely, like an image banner, or to change the layout of this video section here. So you just click on the overall section. This is called the collage section. Card styles, collage, columns, the large, there's a couple options. I have personally used Shopify for my own e-commerce, and this is my store. I find it really flexible and really easy to customize. Another great thing is it's really, really focused on mobile optimization. So of course, every website should look good on mobile nowadays, but Shopify is really good at that. And that's important because 77% of e-commerce traffic actually happens on mobile. Whether people actually check out on mobile, many do, but they're at least looking at your site on mobile and maybe they'll buy on their computer later. If they're an old millennial like me, really important to be optimized for mobile for e-commerce. And Shopify does that very well, not only in looks, but in speed, which is really crucial for people not abandoning their carts. A neat thing that Shopify has here too, which makes it really easy to keep your store and your brand up to date, is what they call meta objects, kind of like reusable sections or reusable things, I should say. One example could be, maybe this is like a little about section on you or something, and this is a little blurb about your brand. You can type that in here, of course, as just text, but if you use it in multiple places around your site and you want it to always stay up to date, if you're changing it, you can click this little, stack and connect a dynamic source. So that could be like a meta object, but also just a brand, almost like a brand kit sort of thing. So you can add, slogan, short description, and I don't have one added here right now because I just made this free account, but it's just linking that, which is in your brand, and it just links that here. So anytime I update it in my Shopify dashboard, it will always be correct anywhere that I have linked this short description. So where the AI magic really happens in Shopify too, besides designing your site is Shopify AI Sidekick. So that's this little window over here on the right side. And basically like ChatGPT style, you can ask it to help you with things, and either it will do it for you or tell you how to do it. Like, I feel every website should have this now. I got kind of spoiled by this, but you can say like, change all my heading fonts to Times New Roman. And there we go. Of course, you can ask it more complex things too. And the nice thing is it gives you a couple suggestions for things to do next, which is very clever of Shopify here. You can even ask it to analyze your analytics, give you strategic advice on maybe changes to make. I think the AI Sidekick here is more valuable than the AI website builder in Shopify, which is great. Obviously, you can get a site up in a few minutes. It's awesome. But for ongoing, I would love to see all e-commerce platforms having this sort of thing. It's just awesome. The real value of Shopify, though, is everything else that you get with it. It's your full e-commerce management system, both for online and, again, if you're selling retail or at events, you can sell in person. But it's everything also from order fulfillment, but also marketing. So it really ties in with social media. You can do social selling, Facebook, Instagram shops, TikTok, also ads, which is of course huge for e-commerce, customizing pricing and shipping and everything by market, having local translation, being able to charge in local currency. It's just everything you need in one dashboard. I love it. And there's so much additional functionality you can add on with apps. I think there's over 8,000 extensions in their app market. Like, I have mine connected to MailChimp for email. It connects with Jotform AI agents. You can use Jotform AI agents with your Shopify account to automate customer service, so people have 24/7 access to the information they want and quick answers. So everything from, where's my order? Here's my tracking number. What's the status? Do you have this in stock? What kind of product is like this? Questions about product features. All of that sort of stuff you can automate with Jotform AI agents. But really, any kind of extra functionality you can think of, there is an app for that in the Shopify app market. Everything from email to connect to the top email platforms to things like, I have one that bundles together raw materials to make custom bundles without affecting my inventory levels, like very specific little things. So Shopify plans start at $5 a month, and that is just for the social selling aspect. And then their plans range anywhere from $39 to $399 a month, depending on your traffic volume and the features that you need. Next up, Wix. Wix is a great AI website builder and perfect for businesses who want that all-in-one functionality like e-commerce and adding on different apps and things to grow with you, but also is really simple to use and affordable. Wix's chat-style AI website builder is really easy to use, especially if you're familiar with AI tools like ChatGPT or Claude. The thing that really stands out about Wix to me is their apps and add-ons. So there are so many really niche specific apps that you can add on to add extra functionality. So once you sign up for your Wix account, it'll ask you a couple questions, and this is where you get to the chat style of Wix, which is quite different. So you can also set it up without chat and just kind of go through a more visual template format, or you can click Start Chat. So it says, tell me what your site is all about. At first, I found this kind of intimidating. I almost preferred Squarespace's very clear, pick this color, pick this font, pick this style sort of format. This is a bit open-ended and feels a bit like, where do I start? Which is kind of the thing that is hard about making a website in the first place, getting started. I was a bit intimidated, but it's actually really easy to use. So you can just type something simple like, I want a website for my real estate business located in Vancouver, Canada. So you can just type like a one sentence, really simple thing. And then Wix will ask you follow-up questions to really flesh out the site. So it'll get the information it needs from you. What type of content do you plan to showcase on your site? So you can say my current listings, information for buyers, a contact form. So it's already kind of extracting what I'm saying here on the right and building what it needs for the site. Okay, it says, do you have any additional goals like attracting more leads or showcasing stories? So yes, I want to attract people buying a house and also showcase my active MLS listings. And I'll just move my face over here so you can see on the right here how it's going through everything. And it's kind of finalizing the goals based on the conversation that we're having here. So it says, what sets me apart from others in Vancouver? It's really neat how it pulls what it needs from talking with you. Okay, so once Wix feels like it has everything it needs, you can click Go to Dashboard. Like Squarespace, I love this because it walks you through the whole process of everything you'll need to do to get your site up. To finish up making your AI website with Wix, you want to go down here to design your website and go click on Design Site. And then again, you can pick one of their templates and just go from that in a really visual way. Or we're going to design it with AI because that's what we're focusing on. So I'll click Generate a Design. In the previous chat, it was asking you about your business, really, right? And what you want to do for the site. So this one is much more focused on the design and the actual look of the site. You can see it like come to life in real time here. It just takes a few minutes. Okay, so this is what it's come up with for me for my real estate business. So I actually think that looks kind of cool. Again, it knows it's real estate, so it's picking these like AI or stock photos. They actually look like AI photos, but you can change that, of course, to your own real photos. And I'm just scrolling down here and it looks very modern and stuff, but let's just say I want to change it. If I wanted to totally, if I just hated this look, I hate everything about it, you can just click Regenerate Design here. Or if I'm like, I like this, but just something, colors, fonts, something's not quite right, I'm going to click Tweak Design. Okay, and so here's another option it's come up with based on that sort of look, which, I realize I actually don't like this one. I like the previous one. So you can go back, you can click here where it says version 2. You can just go back and hit version 1. So I know I liked version 1, so I'm going to continue with that design. What really sets Wix apart is all the extra features that you get along with the AI website builder and the website editor. So if you're in your main dashboard, you can even click up here on quick actions and you can search. The search is really handy because there are so many things in Wix that it can feel a little overwhelming at first. But you can add things like bookings, like for appointments or services or classes. You can make a link in bio page that you can use for your social media, actually manage social media and publish and schedule social media posts, which is pretty neat. You can generate a new logo if you don't have anything, printed merchandise. There's literally so much you can do. You can sell tickets to events and have people like RSVP, email marketing, advertising, Google Ads, of course, online stores, and then there is an app marketplace where you can add really unique features such as the MLS listings for real estate, but also things for restaurants like displaying your menu items and having reservations and pickup and delivery orders and things like that. Really specific to restaurants. They have apps for all sorts of different businesses. So to see though, you can click Explore here up at the top and then go over to the app market. This is the one I mentioned about MLS. It's the iHome Finder real estate one. There's Printful, which is a print-on-demand merchandise company you can use for e-commerce. There are some Wix official ones here, like bookings, and then there are things just to make business easier, like connecting to your QuickBooks account if you use that, or different delivery providers. Ways to get more reviews from social media or find UGC content, user-generated content. Just really, really versatile options. Wix's marketing features are really great for small businesses and those who don't have a dedicated marketing team or don't have one yet and just really want to grow online as fast as possible. You can really make the most of things like Google Ads and social media by having that all in your Wix site too and being able to publish social media posts right from here, to run ads, to do email marketing. It's just really convenient having it all in one place if you're already a business owner who's really busy and has a lot of other hats to wear. Wix's plans start at $17 a month and they go up to $159 per month. And of course, there's a big range in between. Most people kind of end up at the $29 to $36 a month range, which makes Wix a really good value for what you're getting. And for those prices, the 29 to 36 month plans, you're still getting a lot of the marketing features that most businesses would need. Wix represents a great value between getting that easy AI website builder, get your website up and make it easy for you, but also having powerful marketing features built in too. So as you can see, the editor here is very visual. It's pretty simple to use. Hovering over different sections here brings up some options, and it's kind of similar to Squarespace's in that they call them sections, these horizontal areas. And you can click here to add a new section in between and things like that. Really easy to use. So clicking anywhere, you can change this stuff. So again, if I double click on this, I can type, so instead of discover more, welcome home, whatever you want it to say, as well as change the look and style of it. So maybe I want it to be bigger or smaller or different headings. Double clicking brings up this menu. You can change the font here to anything you like, add different, bold, all this kind of stuff, all this kind of customization stuff. Also, besides typing in your own text, just like in other ones, there are AI tools here. So here on the left, it brings up the full menu from generating new text, or you can say, change the tone, fix grammar, edit it, make it shorter. We're going to click generate, and then you can just type what you want, just like a chat GPT window or something. But I want it a bit shorter. So you can say make shorter, and you can hit use text, and that will just put it right in that spot. So just like Squarespace is, you can click and drag things around. It's really visual, really easy. And these little lines and stuff help you align things nicely. So here it's showing the pink line when it's lined up with the other heading there, so really easy to do. Overall, I do find Squarespace's editor just a little simpler, but Wix's is great to use as well. It's very visual, so again, great if you're not used to making websites or you just need to see it in front of you, and very powerful with being able to add on all these different apps and features like I mentioned. So along the left side here, you can add new elements. Everything auto saves as you're editing, which is really nice too, so you don't lose anything. This icon here brings up the app market, where you can search for things like the MLS listings or any other app that you might want for your business. In the media tab, you can see everything that you've uploaded and reuse them on other pages, or they also have stock photos and things like that you can use. And you can connect it to your social media to pull content directly from Instagram, Facebook, your Google Drive, things like that. Overall, really easy to use editor, lots of powerful marketing features. I think that's what really sets Wix apart. GoDaddy is another all-in-one tool where you can make your website in just a few minutes with their AI builder, but you can also manage all the day-to-day online marketing for your business too. Everything from, of course, the website, having a domain name, the hosting, maintenance, all of that, and also generating social media posts, e-commerce, selling, fulfilling orders, email marketing, SEO optimization, just everything that you kind of need to get out there for online marketing, all in one place. The one drawback that I found from using their AI website builder is that I personally found it not as intuitive to edit and use as some of the other platforms that I mentioned here, but it's still very, very usable, a very good builder, and they have really good onboarding support. So I'll show you that in a moment, but that helps you kind of get over the initial overwhelm. I think GoDaddy really makes sense if you're setting up a new business especially, or getting an existing business online for the first time and you don't have a dedicated marketing team or don't have one yet. Having all of the website tools, AI tools that GoDaddy has, and things like social media marketing and ads and all the other growth tools they have all in one place just really makes a lot of sense, because it's going to save you a lot of time. So let's dive into how to make an AI website with GoDaddy Arrow, and then I'll kind of show some of the other growth tools that GoDaddy has as well. So if you're on the main GoDaddy.com website, obviously they have a lot of products, but if you just go under websites, website builder, then you can hit start for free, just set up a free account. So once you've set up your account with an email there, it's going to ask you, what are some specific features your website might need. So maybe none of these apply to you. You don't need to book appointments, or you don't want to sell things online, or you don't want to accept payments. Let's just say book appointments online for us, but you can also just hit something else if you don't need any of those things. Just pick that. Obviously you can search there for your type of industry. So this is where it's kind of getting into the chat GPT style format. You're going to be writing in here a description of your website, telling it what you want, and it gives you an example here for this dog walker, like 2 to 3 sentences sort of thing. Okay, so I just wrote this little thing. Besides the AI website it's going to build for you, there's a big focus on AI generated content. There's everything from the copy and things that the other builders do as well, having the different paragraphs and things on your website and headings and images and things like that. But also with the marketing tools of GoDaddy, you can have AI generated social media posts, which is just really powerful. Like, you can save a lot of time. Okay, so it's asking you to pick a plan. You can just hit continue for free here at the bottom. These are the sections it's kind of wanting to suggest for you. Here, about, photo gallery, appointments, reviews. Yeah, that sounds pretty good for my fake hair salon here. I might hit menu or price list here. Then you hit continue. Okay, so here's the home page. It's really similar to the other ones where you can, double click, type whatever you want to replace text, and also generate with AI as well. I want to expand this a little bit. So I can hit, get another suggestion here. It'll write something. There we go. If you want to add something else here, you can hit add section. It's really similar to the other AI website builders I've mentioned, so I won't spend a lot of time here, but really similarly, it opens up a nice visual display of what their sections could be, and you can add anything that you want in there, like, I don't know, if you have a podcast or something, like your recent podcast episode, all sorts of stuff. Similarly, clicking on a section brings up here on the right some options about it, so things to like change the image, to add image description, kind of change how the image, how it looks, whether it says the shape like a circle or like a wide photo, or if you're like zooming in to the photo, like how much of the photo you're gonna show. So anytime you're scrolling through and clicking on something, it'll change here on the right what you can do with it. And I wasn't 100% floored by the designs it came up with. It's definitely like a professional modern website, looks good on desktop and mobile. I just think that, again, Squarespace just really takes the cake with aesthetically pleasing templates. But what I really love about GoDaddy here is that, unlike some of the other platforms, even Wix as well, you need to add like an additional app to have things like appointments and all that. Whereas with GoDaddy, you can just say, yeah, I want to book appointments. You don't have to install an app or pay extra for a third-party integration. I found that really easy to use for GoDaddy, and nice that kind of all those extra features are included. You can click add section to add something in between. But say, for example, I want my email sign up here to be higher up on the page. I can just I'm just hovering over it, and then there's this like up arrow here, and that will just move it above the section above it. That's not quite as flexible in some of the ways as, for example, Squarespace or Wix could be, in that you're not, clicking this and dragging it around for the position. Like there are lots of different layout options. So if you don't like the way that this layout looks, for example, you can hit layout here on the right side, and then this is the contact section, so that's why maps are coming up here. But there's lots of different layout and design options to pick from. You can just make the homepage in the trial, which I don't love, because I wish you'd be able to make your whole site in the trial and then launch it, once you pick a plan. So that's kind of not the best, I don't think. Still, making the homepage would give you enough feel for if this is going to suit your needs. Again, it's the growth tools included in GoDaddy that really make it stand out too. So I'll show you some of those. We're in the website builder right now. You just go over to the left side here and click where it says website builder, and it'll expand the menu here. You can go to your main dashboard if you want to see everything, and this would actually show you your analytics and stuff if your website were actually live. So you click on marketing over here, digital ads, email, social, and also their content creator section. But very much, to me, reminds me of like an Adobe Express or a Canvas, where you can create social media posts and things, and even remove the background on photos, which is very handy, especially if you are doing an e-commerce site and you need, nice white background product photos, for example. But I think what I said earlier about just them not being the most intuitive editor, I think it just comes down to a bit of overwhelm as well with how many things are included in GoDaddy and included in your plan, including the website, but also the social media tools, email marketing, things like bookings. At the same time, that's what makes GoDaddy such a great value. So their plans range from about $16.99 per month for just kind of the basic website to $34.99 a month, which is the top plan with all the advanced e-commerce and AI tools and marketing features. So for $34.99 a month, there are not a lot of other platforms that can compete with the amount of things you can do. Yeah, you really just can't get more value than what GoDaddy is giving you for the up to $34.99 a month for all those features, from your website to marketing and email, including your business email, but also email marketing, like to customers, ads, everything, content creation. I think it's a great package for, again, those new to being online, whether you have an existing business or you're starting a new one. Okay, Replit. This is magical. This blew my mind. I feel like I lived under a rock and I didn't know about Replit before now, because not only did it make the best looking, in my opinion, AI website of all the ones that I tested, but you can also make apps with it. Apps, like real apps that would live on a device without any coding. The one slight drawback, which I wouldn't even really call a drawback, but just something to be aware of with Replit, is that while you don't need to write any code yourself to make things like a website with AI or an app or anything, I think it still helps to have an understanding of how those things are made behind the scenes, to understand terms like HTML coding and Java and Python, like just to know those exist, to know that those are kind of the building blocks that you're working with, because the process of it making things is a lot more technical looking rather than graphical looking, as in some of the other AI website builders. This is the website that it made for me. This is the part that that blew my mind. So things like having these little emoji things and the subtitles, and even, you know, a headline like bold content that actually converts. That's pretty good. It looks so professional, so complete. This is the like portfolio type section, and I didn't edit any of this content or tell it I wanted these categories or anything. I literally just wrote, I want sleek interactive website showcasing my copywriting skills, and said that I specialize in SaaS content. The little features, it's the little details that set Replit apart. So everything from having this be an actual functional portfolio category picker to little labels, like labeling this as, oh, this one's a blog series, this is a blog post, this is the client it was for. Again, these aren't my real examples, it's just what it's come up with. But having the client name there, that's really important when you're showing a portfolio piece, right? A title, a little blurb, and then these like really credibility boosting little notes. This got this many shares and it had this many signups, like kind of a results section. I think those little details are what make the site so good and so professional. And again, this took 15 minutes for it to make, and I only had to write it like a sentence about what I wanted. It blew my mind completely for what it came up with. I'm actually convinced that Replit is magic, and it kind of freaks me out. It's just such a nice, professionally designed theme, and those little touches, I think, just set it way in a different category. This is like literally a theme you could see a business paying someone to make. So now I'll show you how to make one. So we'll go back to our homepage here. You can either pick the app type down here, like I want to make a web app or a game or something, but you don't have to. You can just type what you want and it will figure out what to give you. So let's say I want a professional looking website to showcase my residential construction business. Then you hit start chat. You don't even have to be that detailed, honestly. You can just write one sentence. You can see here at the bottom, it kind of tells you its status here. So like making an implementation plan, like working. So you know it's actually working on something and it's not expecting something from you. This is where I meant it's like a little bit technical looking, right? Kind of looks like you're talking to a computer interface, and it flashes kind of the code it's, I guess, writing. That's what I mean about having a bit of understanding of technical code would help, but it's not required. Okay, so now here's what it's asking me to approve the plan or not. So this is what it's come up with. You know, initial version, a construction business website. So it's saying, you know, we have a homepage with this, a portfolio, a services page, contact form, service area, testimonials. It's saying add a blog later, integrate a customer portal. I think it's amazing that Replit got all of those ideas and suggestions and everything from just those couple sentences that I wrote, right? Just having those suggestions there, you're like, oh yeah, no, that does sound good. I do want a virtual consultation booking calendar. And actually I would want that in the initial version. So it says, what do you want to change with the plan? I say, I want to include the booking calendar in the initial version. It just understands what you want. It's saying, I will update the plan to include that in the initial version. There we see it's added the consultation booking into this initial version. Once you're happy with its plan, you can just hit approve plan here at the bottom. And that's when it kind of goes to this split view. Here is where it kind of takes that 15-minute time frame. At least that's what my last website one took. You can just leave this. You can just leave it. You can close the app. It'll just work on it. While it's working away, I'll show you a little bit about how you would launch it afterward. You have 10 projects. They call them agents. So each kind of agent is a thing, whether it's a website or an app or anything that you're making. 10 agents that you can build for free. And then you only have to pay once you want to launch them, or what Replit calls deploy. Since you can build the 10 websites or apps or agents, as they call it, for free in the trial, they call it the starter plan here. It's not time limited in any way, which is also really nice for a free trial or free plan. And then once you want to deploy or launch your new website, that is when you pay. The pricing is quite different than the other AI website builders here, because instead of a fixed cost per month, you are paying usage of your agent or website. And that just means like server resources that your website is using. So it's quite different in that you're not paying a super fixed cost per month, which can sound a little scary, but actually may end up being cheaper for you depending on your traffic and resource needs. For the Replit Core plan, for example, for $25 a month, you also get to access ChatGPT and Claude tools in there. So that's a great value for $25 a month. And you get $25 of monthly credits. That is credits towards the server usage that your apps are using. I just think that's a great value, especially for, again, the quality and the number of things you can build with Replit, including apps and websites. I really can't stress enough how amazed I am at the quality that Replit gives you for, again, being a fully AI tool that took, as we see here on the left, 12 minutes to make me a full website, not just a homepage, all the different sections and everything, including content. And not only content, but it shows a real deep understanding of the industry. And in this way, I just wrote, 3 sentences that I make homes in Los Angeles and then have these examples here. Things like, oh, beamwork and ceilings. Like, these are all things that show an understanding of the industry and like a really deep level of understanding for an AI tool. I was just blown away by that. Of course, you can go in and change things as well. Unlike the other AI website builders in this video, this isn't so much of a visual edit, so I have to kind of tell Replit if I want to change anything. So I'll say, okay, for the portfolio section, please add category tags to each portfolio item that corresponds to the neighborhood. It's telling me here on the left that it did 2 minutes of work for that. It's telling me what it did, basically. It's added the neighborhood tags to the portfolio that I wanted, as well as, you know, filtering by style and filter by neighborhood. So that's pretty nice. But again, that's how easy it is to just make changes, that you can just ask it as a simple sentence and it will just do it for you. I just think the quality that you get out of this for not being a technical person and making a professional looking site is wild. Okay, so once you're happy with the overall functionality and the look of the site, you can start customizing it. And there's 2 ways to do that with Replit. So the first way is, well, both of the ways start with being able to select the elements that you want to edit. And to do that, it's kind of hard to find. You have to go right down here on the left side where the chat box is. And this little button that says select, and when you hover over it, it says visual editor. You're going to click that. And then now you're able to actually click on different things on the page. And doing so brings up the style of that. So this is the headline of the page, the H1, and you can do things like change the color, the size, font, and then also double click to edit it. The H1 in particular, I don't know, it's a little bit buggy. It doesn't want me to edit it. So if you run into that, you can do that in the actual code of the site by clicking on the element itself. In this case, it's an H1, and then it will show you the actual code of the site. So this is where having that technical bit of an understanding comes in handy. So I'm pretty familiar with HTML, so I can find, okay, that's where the H1 is. Super cool homes in Los Angeles. The white text I know is the headline, so I'm going to change that to very cool homes. And then you can go back here and to the preview tab up here is where I'm clicking, the preview tab, and see your changes. So the button changed and the headline changed. And now with other ones, I don't know why that wouldn't let me double click and edit it, because for ones like this subheading here, I was able to double click to select it and then type. So I don't know why the other one didn't do that. In case you run into that, that's how you can edit things in the actual code itself. So the 2 ways to edit things are double click and type a new headline. If that's for some reason not working, you can also click the element name and it will bring you into the code of the site, and you can change text directly from the code if you're comfortable with that. And these, it kind of operates as tabs up here too. When you're done making changes, you can get back to the preview here to see them in the site. Same goes for images, you know, just like text, you can click on the element and then here upload a new image. And then when you're ready to actually launch your site, Replit calls it deploying instead of launching. Then you can just hit deploy up here on the right. Then you have to subscribe to a plan to be able to do that. So yeah, that's Replit. I think it's magical what you can make with it. I was really surprised. I think it's just such a great tool for everyone, really, from both just technical people who could code and want to save some time to people like myself who maybe I have a great app idea and I have no idea how to make it or no ability to make it because I don't know how to code. Replit can completely change that around for you and potentially change your life. I think it's one of the coolest tools I've ever seen. And that includes making an AI website. I know apps are not what we were talking about in this video, but I had to mention it because it's so cool. And I was really blown away with the subject matter expertise that it seemed to pick up from just having a 2 or 3 sentence prompt to start with. And I think the level of quality that it produces for being an AI is really high. Whether you need a website up before lunch or you just don't know where to start, these 5 tools can help you get there faster. Squarespace, Wix, Shopify, GoDaddy, and Replit are the 5 best AI website builders that you can start with today. Overcome blank page syndrome and get your website up before lunch. Each of these AI website design tools can help you make everything from a simple business site to get up now or an advanced e-commerce store or any other functionality that you could want in a website. So take action. Choose one of these tools today that best fits you and get started on your website now. See you in the next one.